What's going on, everybody? We have Ron Douglas from Ron Douglas Publishing, all the way out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ron, what is it that you actually do, and how do you generate revenue for Ron Douglas Publishing?
Well, I do business coaching, specializing in digital marketing and webinars, and we do events related to those topics as well.
Awesome. And as a side note, I know I just recently attended your Webinar Confidential Summit, which was awesome. So I know you're partnered up with Anik and I think a couple other people inside of the Webinar Con brand. So for those of you guys who are familiar, who have either attended or are going, are you throwing another one of these soon?
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because it was awesome. So for those of you guys who haven't attended, definitely check these guys out. I also know I'm inside of your Facebook group. I know you guys have a Facebook group too. What's the Facebook group called again?
Webinar marketing.
Webinar marketing. And it's all about webinars. So if you guys love webinars, whether it's live webinars, evergreen style webinars, anything webinar related, that's definitely an awesome group to be in. I'm in there all day, and it's just a bunch of gold coming out of there all day. Ron, who is your ideal? I know you do coaching, right? So who's your ideal profile of the person that you want to work with? Who's your ideal avatar?
Influencers and small business owners who want to increase their reach, have a greater impact, and do digital marketing online, build a bigger audience, those type of things.
Okay, cool. And I know digital marketing's it's broad because people when they think of digital marketing, like, oh, is it SEO? Are we building funnels? So what is it that you guys? Are you covering the whole scope of digital marketing? So let's say I come in, Chad Kaderi, I want to grow my brand, I want to grow DashClicks as an example. I come to you. Break me down. What is it exactly that you do? Are you focusing on paid advertising, organic? You doing both? Break that down for me so the viewers can understand exactly what it is that you guys do over there.
Yeah, mostly paid advertising and presentation funnels is like my specialty, right? So we can help you put together a short class where you can get people to register for free. And by the end of that class, people will want to book appointments or register or pay for your programs.
So webinar format style?
Yeah, mostly webinar format, some VSLs, but evergreen webinars as well.
Awesome. Love it, man. And how many team members are on your team? And what's just a really quick breakdown of them?
We have a small business. I mean, it's just 5 of us, actually. I mean,
nice.
I do this from home. I've been working from home since 2001. So it's just, and we have other companies we work with that on a project basis when we need to get outside stuff done.
Love it, man. Awesome. And how many active clients do you guys serve today? So obviously you're in the coaching space. How many people or how many businesses are you actually coaching and working with?
Well, right now we have a webinar incubator going on where we have 30 clients that have paid $15,000 to be into this webinar incubator. And we also have a mastermind called the Webinar Wealth Club, where we have about 20 more clients that pay between $25,000 and $35,000 to be in that program. So, higher ticket, but not a whole lot of clients to deal with, which is my preference.
Hey, we have people coming on this show that they have 10 or 15 clients and they're doing a lot of revenue and they're running super lean. So congratulations. So obviously whatever you're doing is working. You're able to work from home and enjoy your life. With this COVID hitting now, we're actually all remote too for the most part, which has changed our business model. We were always like, no, we have to have everybody in the office. Everybody has to be working together. And then COVID hits and we're like, wait, people can actually work from home and be way more productive than they are in the office. It makes sense. And we have data to prove it, just throwing that out there. So the data proves it. We are way more productive working remotely.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I come from the corporate world. I used to work for JP Morgan Chase on Wall Street in New York. And I know, I mean, half the day I'd just be, fooling around on the internet or something. And then I would get my work done, but I only had like 2 hours worth of actual work. And the other time I'll just be fooling around. So
makes sense.
A lot more efficient than you think you are. You have a lot more time than you think you do.
Yep. Now, I know you come from the webinar space, and obviously in this type of business model, we're all about trying to grow lists. How big is your current list? If you wanted to send out a message to the world tomorrow, if Ron wanted to send a message, how many people are you actually hitting?
We hit a little under 100,000 people with just my personal list, but then we have lists that we work with our partners, Onyx and Gal and Annie Husong. That's, his list is like in the millions. So.
Yeah, those two guys, especially Onyx, good friends with Onyx. He actually did a keynote at our Agency Accelerator Virtual Summit. Amazing individual. I know between Learn and obviously Webinar Con, the second I hear webinar, I'm going to you guys. Like that's the first thing that rings a bell in my mind.
Appreciate that.
So what is your actual pricing model look like? I know you said it was 15K, and then you have a higher ticket after 15K?
Yeah. Our mastermind is 35K at the moment.
35K. So just walk me through it. If I want to join your 15K program, just in a 30-second bird's eye view, what is that exactly? What am I getting? What's the outcome for me? What am I looking for?
Right. Well, that program is a webinar incubator where we help you create your webinar. So it's a 12-week program where it's weekly classes, weekly sessions where we walk you through the entire process of creating a webinar that converts well, that's going to change the dynamic of your business, help you reach more people and work less hours and make more money in the process.
I want to dive deep into metrics as far as like webinars, right? Because you see so many people throwing out numbers in the webinar world of registrations, cost per acquisition, cost per application, whatever you want to call it, right? And then obviously running the traffic side. So most of our viewers are in the agency space or they're coaches, right? So they're people who either have a digital marketing agency and are looking to pick up more small to medium-sized businesses to offer them, Facebook ads and SEO and all that good stuff, or they're coaches who are essentially looking to pick up coaching clients, and that could be maybe selling to agencies or selling to fitness professionals or whatever the case may be, right? Going through and doing like a standard webinar style funnel where it's registration page, then going to the actual webinar itself, or registration page, then it could be thank you page and going to the live webinar, or depending on how you're doing, if you're doing like an evergreen webinar, whatever the case is, right? And then the end call to action, which is what's my main goal of producing this webinar? Is it to sell my course? Is it to get them to fill out an application? Can you walk me through some metrics that you think that digital marketers or coaches and agency owners should like try to hit? Like, what are some good numbers? Like, what are some good registration costs I'm hitting if I'm getting people to register for, let's say, a webinar where I'm teaching realtors how to go out, top three ways you as a realtor can go out and generate, seller leads or buyer leads or something like that, right? Just giving you a random topic here. What's a good number that I should try to hit for registrations?
Right. I mean, you figure you should be able to get registrations for between $5 and $10 per registrant. And for your registration landing page on cold traffic, you should get at least 25% of them registering, if not more. On warm traffic, maybe 40 to 50% of them actually registering. When I say cold versus warm, cold could be paid traffic. They don't have a relationship with you. They don't know you yet. And warm is referral traffic.
Blasting your list, your
own list.
Your groups. Yep. And what about show up rate? So let's just say, for the hell of it, just put like 100 people go through the funnel. Let's just say 25% of them, you got a 25% opt-in rate. 25% out of the 100 people fill out the form, name and email. They then get to the next page, right? How many of those people are actually showing up to the webinar out of those 25 people? What's a good show up rate?
I would say between 5 and 10 would be a decent show up rate. The thing about it is you have those leads, right? I was talking to someone about this the other day. He was disappointed that he didn't get a higher show up rate and he just kind of gave up on the campaign. No, the process is just getting started because you have a follow-up process, right? You have your replay. And for those that don't want to watch a webinar, you can have a shorter video format, right? But sometimes the webinar is a decoy in the sense that people say, oh, I missed that. And now they're looking forward to like, oh, how can I watch it again? Or how can I learn about this in another way? So you want to give them multiple different opportunities and different formats, once they're on your email list.
Are you a big believer in the dollar for every email you have on your list that you're generating every month, that term that people throw out?
Yeah, absolutely. You can, for sure get $1 for, I think it's definitely worth that, if not more, over the long run.
Agreed. Okay, cool. So 100 people come in, 25 people register. Let's just say we get a 50% show up rate, which I think 50% is even still high on cold, right? Maybe like 30% if we're lucky, or somewhere around there. All right, let's just say 10 people show up, okay? Out of the 10 people that show up, make it on the webinar, what should I shoot for as a conversion rate of getting somebody to fill out an application to come work?
Application, you could probably do 30% for application. If it's a free application, I think you can get at least 30%.
And then the big question that most people ask is live or evergreen? What do you prefer? What's the best method to actually getting my ideal goal, which is getting as many applications as I freaking can?
You know, it depends. They both work really well. Depends on how much time you have. Live will typically convert better for you because you can interact with them live. You can call their name. You could talk, have a conversation with them. You could ask them questions. You can adjust your presentation based on the type of feedback you're getting from them. Evergreen, you can actually get more applications because you could run it all the time. So live, you can't just be on live doing a webinar every couple hours,
Yep,
but
very
Evergreen,
true.
you can have that thing running all day long, and it's could take as many people on it as you can get.
So I'm going to ask like a personal preference question just because I'm curious, because we're running an evergreen webinar funnel right now, and we started using EverWebinar. Then we switched over. We saw this new software in the market that's called Webinar Fuel by Anthony Morrison. Not sure if you're familiar or heard of it.
Yep.
I know they're newer software, so they're still working out some of the kinks in there. Good software, but most people are like, there's this theory of like, okay, do I get super technical and build this webinar where it looks like I'm in a live environment, right? Or am I going after like, dude, just put a freaking video on the ClickFunnels landing page and just call it a day, right? Like forget about all the other live and fancy softwares and all that stuff. What do you prefer doing? What do you recommend people to actually do?
Well, I think it depends on your market. There's a certain value to having a webinar format with like a live comment box where they could put in comments and can see other people putting in comments and things like that. If it's a marketplace that's more sophisticated, that's really accustomed and kind of turned off by the whole simulated live environment, then yeah, you could put it on a ClickFunnels type of page. I mean, it really depends on your market, and you want to test it to see which does the best.
Makes sense. And in your business, if you can strip everything back and you, how long have you been doing this for?
Since 2001, I started doing online
2001.
business.
Okay, so you've been in the game for a long time. Since 2001, if you could think about one of the biggest aha moments or the biggest needle movers you had in your business that really resulted in the growth of your company, what would that one thing be? What would you tell people?
It's kind of a mindset thing, right? So it's when you think about your business, especially a small business like mine, and you think about your business in terms of how much money you're going to make personally, right? And then you start thinking about how much do I need to make to cover my bills. That's the wrong approach. It's hard to grow your business because what's going to happen is you'll make more than you need to pay your bills and cover your expenses. Then you're good, and then you kind of take your foot off the gas pedal. You're like, okay, I'm good. You have to think of your business in terms of the potential. Like the business has to be a separate entity from yourself. Like I want to grow this business to be as big as it can be, to acquire as many customers as I can, to be month over month growth, year over year growth. When you start looking at it like that and separate yourself, because you start to feel greedy after a while. You're like, oh, I made $100,000 this month, a great month. Like I'm going to take 2 weeks off. No, but if you look at it like the business did that, and the business can do even more, and I'm competing against these other businesses, you separate yourself from the business, you can really start to grow your income and focus on growing the business rather than
I
your
love
own
that.
personal
I love
wealth.
that. And so you're obviously doing webinars. I'm sure you guys are doing a lot of webinars. You drinking your own Kool-Aid, most likely. Are you using webinars right now in your business to pick up new clients and grow your business?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's my favorite thing to do is using webinars. And I mean, the main thing is the webinar shortens the sales cycle, right? If you're a salesman, everybody that's done sales, a big part of it is prospecting and then building that relationship and then following up again and all that stuff. Webinar enables you to build that know, like, and trust, to build the credibility, to kind of paint the picture of the big opportunity that they want to jump into, and to create some type of urgency to act before the end of the webinar. It enables you to do that all within a 60 to 90 minute period. So it shortens the sales cycle and then enables you to follow up with the people who haven't seen that webinar. So the webinar could be your sales machine.
Yep.
Rather than trying to close everybody. I mean, even if you're good at closing people over the phone, the webinar can be that device where it makes the sale a lot easier by the time they speak to you over the phone, and it screens out the people that are really not interested in taking that call.
Yeah,
So
for
you don't
us,
waste your
I mean,
time.
for us in our company, we use webinar purely for indoctrination. We indoctrinate the shit out of people before we get them on the phone call, and it just makes them super hot and super just wanting to buy whatever it is that we're going to offer them. It makes it just a sexy phone call, in my opinion. Are you going evergreen right now or live in your business, or are you doing both? Talk to me about that.
I do both. I have an evergreen webinar that I'm constantly running traffic to, and I do live webinars, especially with joint venture partners, other affluent people, other influencers that are promoting our webinar on a commission basis. So I do that. And I do swaps. Like I do a webinar, promote someone else every week. I have a series that I do called Wealth Wednesday, where I bring on a new guest every week and we do a webinar.
All right. That's awesome. So a lot of automation comes, especially with building an evergreen webinar. If you could think about all the automations you have in your business right now, what's your favorite one? What's the favorite? It could be a Zap. It could be a funnel that you got going. What's your favorite automation that you got that's going on? That's like hands off. Ron's not touching this. Is just doing his thing.
Oh, I would say definitely the automated webinar using
EverWebinar
and the autoresponder follow-up series.
Okay, fair enough. And all these leads that you got coming in. So obviously if you're going evergreen, you could be generating 5, 10, 15, 100 leads a day, whatever it is, obviously depending on how much traffic you're sending that way. What CRM system are you using to take everything in and control all your leads?
I'm old school, man. I still use Aweber.
Aweber?
Aweber, yeah.
Hey, if it works, it works, right? Don't break what doesn't work, or don't try to find something else, man. What does your sales process look like? Are you actually getting on the phone call? I mean, let's take one step back so we can maybe frame that question a little bit better. The leads that are actually coming in, are these applications to work with you in your 15K or 30K programs?
No, usually these leads are people that come in for webinars or online summits.
Gotcha.
And then we indoctrinate them, like you said, via the webinar, online summit, the online event. And then, usually I would sell people. I sell people a program right on the webinar, and then I upsell people into coaching that don't buy that buy the program. So people that buy the program at a lower ticket, then we talk to those people over the phone and give them a strategy session.
Do you have a value ladder approach where it's like, hey, come buy this, $100 offer, and then, get a little bit indoctrinated, warm them up a little bit. And then it's like, okay, now here's my $1,000 offer and here's my 10K, 15K. Do you have an actual value ladder that most people use that term?
Well, the event that you were on, the WebinarCon virtual summit, that was an indoctrination process. It was the front end ticket, I think was $200 or $300.
$197, I think I paid with a Nix, or maybe something like that. It was like $200. Yeah.
Yeah. $200. And then, it was a 3 or 4 day summit. And then all weekend long, we kept giving people an invitation to book a strategy call to become part of our, we had the 2 programs. If you have a webinar that's converting, we had the Webinar Wealth Club, $35,000 will help you get your webinar booked, get more people to promote your webinar. And if you don't have a webinar, we were selling those folks the webinar incubator to help them create a webinar. So that that's one process. My other process is just like, free registration, webinar, $1,000 offer, and then $5,000 to $10,000 upsell over the phone.
Gotcha. Okay. And now, obviously, everybody that goes through the funnel doesn't buy. Let's just say if you got a conversion rate of, let's just call it 10% just for the hell of it, right? What are you doing with the other 90%? I know you're probably big on emails. Or anything else that you're doing?
Right. Well, we do Messenger, Facebook Messenger bots.
What
we do weekly webinars that we do. So people that don't buy, we offer them ongoing weekly
different
webinars.
Topics? Is it just constantly like different topics of just trying to get these people on and on and on until they hopefully eventually buy something, right?
Right.
Gotcha. Now, going back to messenger bots, do you see any issues with the whole? Because we recently had an issue with messenger bots where we keep sending out blasts and Facebook keeps sending us warnings. Are you running into those issues as well?
Yeah. Everybody is.
What's like a good way to get around that?
A good way is never put a link in the first message.
It's funny. We ran a message the other day, and it was actually an account update message. We were just adding something new to our store, our fulfillment store, right? We're starting to offer YouTube ads as a white label fulfillment service, right? So prior to that, 2 weeks prior to that, we sent out a webinar invite with a Zoom link, which was stupid. And then we got the first warning. and I spoke to my team, and they said, hey, let's not send out the link, which is exactly what you said, which is a good thing. We didn't do that. And then ask them a question and get them to engage in the bot, and then send them the promo or whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, right? We did that, and for some reason, Facebook still did the little couple days suspension on us and gave us a notice. And it was something simple as like, what did we say? It said, hey, I think we said like, hey, want to hear something cool that we just launched inside of our fulfillment store? Question mark. It was yes, show me, or no, I'm not interested. Right? If they hit yes, then it'll be like, we just launched YouTube white label fulfillment ads. Here's 45% off. Here's a promo code that you can use. Right? And we still got the message. Is there anything that we're doing wrong there?
No,
or is it
I mean,
just
you could
Facebook?
run ads. You could, yeah, it's just Facebook.
It's
You
just
could run
Facebook, right?
ads to that. You know, if you pay for an ad, they can't say anything. It's like $20 or something. But the thing is too, I mean, even if they could ban your page from running messenger bot messages, then you could just create a new page and just do the same. You have to start over with your subscribers, but
Yeah.
and then you can appeal it. I mean, they ban you appeal it, but it's you're playing the game. Like Facebook wants you to pay. Wants you to pay to play. Sometimes you just gotta pay, or every once in a while pay. Not every time, but every third message or something, just pay the fee.
Yep. No, I agree. What are you using for that? ManyChat?
ManyChat, yeah.
ManyChat? Cool. I don't think we've ever paid to send out a message. Is that something you do right in there in ManyChat?
Yeah, right in ManyChat. Yeah.
Very cool.
Paid broadcast.
Awesome. All right, so you guys are 5 people. You're running super lean. You're working from home. In your company, in the last 12 months, how much revenue have you guys generated in the last 12 months?
About $2.5 million or so in the last 12
5
months.
people, $2.5 million in revenue. That is absolutely fantastic. That's super lean, man.
Yeah. It helps to partner with Onyx and Gal on some things, but yeah.
He's a beast, man. We're gonna have him on here too as well, doing one of our podcasts here in the near future. Where do you see yourself in 12 months? Fast forward 12 months from today, what's like a good goal that you want to hit?
12 months, I just want to have another $1 million in my account cash, and I'm a real estate investor too, so I'm actually about to close on a property this month. So I just use the money to buy cash flow properties, and I just want to hit a certain goal with money coming in.
You're doing the online stuff, taking the money and investing it in properties, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm old, man. I don't want to do this when I'm 60. I'll be 46 next month. I'm trying to
I thought when you came on here, you look like, for those of you guys who were just listening, he looks like he's 30.
Appreciate
that. I love it, man. So if you want to add another $1 million to your account next 12 months from today, what's like the one major change that that you have to do? Is it just running more traffic, getting more, what do you got to do? Is it just a traffic game at this point?
Yeah, it's definitely running more traffic, scaling up, running more traffic, and getting it out there, using, multiple channels, YouTube, Facebook.
What are you using right
channels.
now? Is it just Facebook?
Yeah, mainly Facebook and email ads, but we want to start getting more on YouTube as well.
Email ads, that's the first time. Is that like Gmail ads and stuff like that?
No, we actually pay for email ads for people's email newsletters.
So are you paying somebody with a list to send a blast for you? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. I didn't even know that was possible. All right.
Yeah. There's cool. People out there that sell solo ads.
That's
not just solo ads, but there's big publications that sell email drops as well.
Where would somebody go if they want? Is there like a company where you're like, hey, I'm looking for marketing agencies. I want to send them an email blast. Is there like a website that I can go to that offers stuff like that?
Yeah. It depends on your topic, really. So, I mean, one of our topics is writing and publishing related.
Gotcha.
So we use this company called Writer's Digest.
I've heard of them.
Yeah. So it really depends on your topic. There's another service where you can get it's more mainstream traffic, but it's called, I think it's Nextmark, where you can find lists of people that are selling email drops. There's also Flatiron Media, where I actually have a connection with anybody's interested with Flatiron Media.
Hey, reach out, guys. If you guys are listening, reach out to Ron. Maybe he can connect you guys. But that's the first time I've heard of that, so that's pretty cool. All right, so last question before we wrap it up. What is your favorite software tool that you use in your business?
Favorite software tool, ThriveCart.
ThriveCart. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first. Ron Douglas, from Ron Douglas Publishing all the way out of Atlanta, Georgia. Ron, thank you so much for joining us here on this special episode of Marketer's Mindset Podcast. We appreciate you, brother, and we'll see you in 12 months once you add another $1 million to your bank account.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Bye.